Good morning and welcome to those of you joining us live today and those of you who are watching in the future. My name is Richard Mulhern and I will be presenting the What's on Your Mind, which is a series of hangouts from the Association for Photography in Higher Education. I will be asking our contributors to discuss three things on their mind, and the points they raise draw on personal experience of practice, involvement in photographic education and research, and some wider issues affecting the subject. These hangouts are aimed at being both short and informal, broadcast live on Google Plus and available at the APHE YouTube channel for you to have a look at time and again and in the future. So this morning, it gives me great pleasure to introduce this morning's participant, who is Cathryn Innocent. Good morning, Cathryn.
Good morning.
Good morning. Cathryn has just completed her third year at the University of Falmouth and was recently selected as a recipient of the APH bursary in partnership with Offspring Photomeet at the end of March 2015. At the portfolio review, Cathryn presented her current work, Convergent Boundaries. And it would be really good if you could say a little about this project, Cathryn, and your experience of Photomeets and any other outcomes you have had as a result of attending the event. So over to you, Cathryn.
Okay, so the project that I presented at Photomeet, it's called Convergent Boundaries, and it's looking at photographic truth and kind of shaking the faith that we have with when we look at, landscape photography and kind of what it is that we see that makes it real or that makes it not real. And so I kind of aim to go quite very kind of fine art kind of photography type images. And by creating those, I was making landscapes using computer software. And I was also juxtaposing with minerals that you would have in a computer. So it kind of looked at, it was looking at the minerals, and it was also looking at looking at the landscapes as well, and just kind of merging the two together into this kind of odd kind of halfway point between something that's real and something that's not real. Yeah, and so I completed this project in February, and I came along and I presented this work to Photomeet, and it was an incredible experience actually, because I'd never been to anything like this before. I'd never had this kind of chance to meet these, people that are in the industry. And I'd been kind of, especially being in Falmouth as well, you're kind of, you're away from the city. It's so far away from London. And there's not that much kind of crossover between, between the industry itself and being away studying at university. So it was an amazing experience. And so it was spread over 2 days, and I had 5 portfolio reviews on the Saturday and 5 on the Sunday. And the atmosphere as well, there were tons of people. I had no idea what I was expecting. I didn't know how many people would be there. I didn't know what kind of age range or anything at all. And it was amazing because you got to present your work to all these wonderful, practicing photographers, and not always good feedback, but I also felt that the negative feedback was even more encouraging than the positive feedback. And then when you kind of, each portfolio review itself was 20 minutes long. And so when you go to your portfolio review, you'd talk to them for 20 minutes, and then you'd come away and you'd reflect on it. And then there'd also be lots of other individuals who are kind of varying lengths of, within their own photography career, at varying stages, and you got to talk to them, and you got to look at their portfolios, and they looked at your portfolios. So it was just an immense kind of 2 days of drinking lots of tea and coffee and having these portfolio reviews with the professionals and meeting all of the other people that are in a kind of similar stage to you are. So yeah.
I mean, you talked a little bit about how the difference or sort of the connecting to sort of London and the city in general. How were the reviews different from maybe the kind of experience of doing a kind of maybe a group tutorial or presentation at university, or were they different?
Yeah, very different. I think that because at university, you know, if you have a group tutorial, you're going to have your tutor who's going to have seen your work before, for sure. You know, you develop, and they see the beginning stages of the project and the middle and throughout the entire project. And then you've also got your course mates who know in general. And a lot of the time, I always feel that sometimes people can't be very critical about your work as well, and so some of the feedback you'll get is that, oh, it's nice, you know, and it's not as much as kind of they don't know exactly what it is about it that makes it work, or what it is about it that doesn't. And of course the tutors know that, of, you know, but they've seen it. It's not a fresh kind of perspective, and it's not fresh eyes seeing your work. So I think it was really important and really useful to have every time, you know, every time you went and saw someone new, they didn't know what it was you were doing. They didn't know anything about it. They'd never seen it before. So I thought that was, you know, very beneficial. And it kind of, you know, emulated what the viewer would see, you know, any kind of viewer in a gallery or any other kind of setting. They, you know, it's a fresh perspective for them as well. So it kind of got a really, you know, a really good, clear idea of what people in the, you know, other viewers would kind of make of your work in university.
Fantastic. I mean that's for a third year or a graduating student, that's incredibly important, isn't it? That to get that kind of perspective, to sort of start seeing your work in the wider context. What kind of did you, once you'd sort of been through the experience, what kind of, how did it sort of change what you thought about maybe your final project or putting your final show together? Did you take anything from it in that respect? Yeah,
I did. I got a lot of, I asked quite a lot about where to take the project next, because I was in the kind of limbo of, I'd just finished this Convergent boundaries, and I was then kind of moving into my final project at university. And I was getting a bit of help and getting some ideas on presentation for one, and also on kind of new different kind of other practitioners which I hadn't looked at before, and other ways of kind of looking at the work, which, yeah, I mean, I got a whole new perspective and whole new kind of twist on the project, which, yeah, I wouldn't have got if I hadn't have gone to Photomeet. So
brilliant. What about and again, sort of doing or applying for or thinking about portfolio reviews in future? Would you? It sounds like you had a very positive experience. Would you be willing or interested in going sort of for these kind of things on a regular basis, do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I'm planning on going to the Photomeet next year, or if not next year, then the year after. And I'd really actually like to go to the Paris Photomeet. And it's actually encouraged me into entering more competitions. It's encouraging me just to get my work out there kind of more. It's made me realize that I really have, if I want to make this work, you know, I'm really going to have to push it and really go for it, which, yeah, so Photomeet's helped with that as well.
Fantastic. Well, I mean, you've talked really well about the experience, about sort of putting your work together for the review, and then the review itself. Is there anything else? Is there any kind of, say, for instance, any advice you would give for someone who's sort of going to be going, say, for instance, for trying for Photomeet next year? What would you advise them to do if they were going to apply to go and speak there?
I would say, well, initially when I was kind of first got selected, and I got helped by Mimi Mollica, who he actually told me, you know, because I didn't know, I was like, what size am I going to have to present the images, or, you know, I had no idea what to expect. So I would say, he told me, when you're going to a portfolio review, don't bring big images. Bring no bigger than A4. And he actually showed me that he's got like a little selection of about 5x7 kind of postcard type images, and that's all he brings for all of his portfolio reviews, nothing more. And I think that's really important, because at my university they encourage you to kind of print big, you know, bigger is better. And so when you're going to a portfolio review, you know, initially I was thinking, oh, maybe I'll bring, you know, A3 or A2 prints. He's like, no, don't do that. So he said that if you're going to bring bigger than A4, then, you know, you might be making a kind of an unnecessary statement about your work. So I think that's a really key, important point for anyone going to Photomeet or anything like that. And just kind of just have fun as well. Like, you're there to meet people, so make sure that you meet everyone that you want to meet, and don't be shy. Just come out of your comfort zone and just really go for it, and then you'll get the best experience possible.
That's absolutely wonderful. Cathryn, that's really great. I mean, it's you know, you're clearly very enthusiastic about it, but your advice is really practical as well. I'm thinking about sort of obviously showing third-year students in the future that, or talking to them about these kind of events. And I think this is probably just this sort of 5-6 minutes that you've been talking would be a really valuable addition to sort of, if you like, giving an insight into what it's like. So very well done. Is there anything else you would like to say about Photomeets or the experience?
I'd just like to say thank you very much for, you know, the amazing opportunity. And I think, you know, it really has pushed my work forward, and it really has helped me in kind of getting myself out there, and really encouraged me to want to go out more and to want to go to more of these portfolio reviews. So yes, I want to thank you very much to APHE.
Wow, well, thank you very much. Again, I sort of really enjoyed listening to your experience, and it's so wonderful to sort of hear that it's sort of been such a positive and beneficial experience to you. So really pleased about that. So all that really remains me to say is, once again, Cathryn, thank you for being part of this hangout, and for sharing your ideas and experiences. It's really great. And thank you to anyone and everyone who's been watching this broadcast. I hope you can join us again for the next one, which will be coming soon, and details of which will be put out on the APHE website, which is apheuk.ac.uk. And we'll put it out on social media and stuff like that. So once again, thank you, Cathryn.
Thank you.
And thank you very, very much to everyone else. See you again soon. Bye-bye.